a design-driven development company focusing on emerging cities in the Philippines. We only develop green buildings. We are vertically integrated. We design, we acquire the property, we develop, and we sell. And now we are also in property management. We are a member of the Philippine Green Building Council and the US Green Building Council. And we are also being awarded by EDGE, which is the green building rating system developed by the World Bank through IFC. And also we have been awarded for our project in Cagayan de Oro by USAID. These are some of the awards we got in the last few years of operations. George and I, we have been featured in 2014 in National Geographic Asia for our innovation in real estate. So this is myself. I am an architect by profession. I have been designing also cars in Italy for, I participate to some competition for BMW and Mitsubishi where I got awarded. And my partner, Giorgio Leviste, is Filipino, but he has been studying in Australia. And we, actually the company started when in 2009 we met here in the Philippines and we shared the same advocacy for sustainable development. So that's when the idea of setting up Italpinas started. Just a few slides about our unique value propositions. When we started the company, of course, we understood that we would have been quite small compared to the major and established developers in the Philippines. So we wanted to have a specific niche. These are our unique value propositions, which is, first, we are totally committed to sustainable development. So we develop only green buildings using passive green strategy. So in this way, buildings are also accessible, affordable, so we can deliver units green to the middle market. We are interested in emerging cities in the Philippines. At that time, already in 2009, with Jojo, we had the impression that all the developments were in Metro Manila. But going around the Philippines, which has several thousand islands and so hundreds of cities, we were experiencing a lack of units or, let's say, world-class or decent buildings around those cities. So we were thinking, why don't we be the one to develop those buildings? Because, I mean, coming from abroad, we know that sooner or later in the Philippines there will be condominium buildings in many other cities. So with Jojo, we said, let's be the one to do it. New middle class. This is also another quite interesting aspect of our company. Philippines, as we can see later in our slides, is experiencing a very interesting growth of the middle class. This is the opposite of what's happening, for example, in my country, in Europe in general, where the middle class is shrinking. So just a few slides about passive green design, how we are able to develop green buildings without making them very expensive. What we do, we gather data about the weather condition of the place where the building is going to be built. Data as weather conditions like the rain, the wind, the speed, the direction, and things like that. We integrate this data with parametric softwares. These parametric software are off the shelf. I mean, anyone can buy, but of course you have to know how to use them. And this software gives us a model which is considered to be the best model to satisfy certain solution that we have been set at the beginning. This is just an example of a project in Cagayan de Oro. Anyway, on the left part, there is data gathering about the wind, so where the wind comes from, the speed during this different season. On the right side, there is the temperature data during the entire year. On the right part, on the bottom, there is the sun path. As you know, the sun path is always different. It changes in relation to the place where you build. So it's very important for us, above all in the Philippines, where most of the energy is used for aircon, to create shading systems so that the unit inside the building are maintained, the temperature is maintained lower. This is a video of a very short video about the simulation we did for a project in Santo Tomas, Batangas. The first is we were planning to develop 3 towers. And with this software, we were able to find the best location orientation of the buildings, also number. In fact, we reduce the towers from 3 to 2. This is instead regarding how the buildings behave with wind. So what we usually do, we want to increase natural ventilation inside the buildings when the wind is normal, and we want to reduce any potential damages when the wind is strong in case of typhoon. That's why the shape of the building is like that. This is another software that help us to design and build louvers or cantilever structure in such a way that we have inside the unit natural light, but without having the temperature inside increase too much. So these are some of the features that we use. This is very important because many people, when developer or designer, they talk about green buildings, they make it, they take it for granted that the buildings have to be expensive. This is because most of the green buildings use active green strategies, which means the building is developed and designed and developed using the same criteria of the past, just adding a lot of high technological features like special lighting, special aircon, special film on the windows. All these special things cost special money, I would say. So at the end, these units are only for the top of the market. With Giorgio, from the very beginning, we thought that there is a middle class who would like to have units green, so able to reduce their also consumption of energy so that they can spend less at the end of the month for their bill at an affordable price. So what we use is passive green design strategies, which is what I show you. We like to say less hardware, more software. Means we use a lot of software in order to anticipate the behavior of the building. So a few words about the middle class. That's a quite interesting, these are quite interesting slides. As you can see, the numbers are quite big. We are talking about a country with more than 100 million people living in it. And these are the numbers about the middle class. When we say middle class, it's family that earn between $2 to $20. This means that there is a backlog of units in this country. When you talk about lack of units, we have to understand what kind of units are lacked. We're talking about socialized houses and middle-cost units. With Italpinas, at the moment, we are only targeting the middle class. So units that cost, let's say, average to 2 to 3 million pesos. Now, a few slides about emerging cities. This is, I would say, my favorite section, my favorite chapter, because it's quite interesting to see what happened in the Philippines and what's happening now in the Philippines. In 1950s, in the Philippines, where there were living around 18 million people, and 1.5 million were used to live in Metro Manila. There was a very aggressive migration from people from the provinces used to go aggressively in Metro Manila looking for opportunities because there were no opportunities in their provinces. Also because life 20 years ago or more was different. I mean, there was no internet, it was very complicated to move, it was expensive to fly, and so on. This, we call it centripetal migration, created several problems that I'm not going to be here to explain you because I'm sure that you live these problems every day, such as traffic, very high cost of living, and so forth, so on. What is happening and what I would proudly say George and I anticipated in 2009 is what we call a centrifugal migration. Filipino, overseas Filipino, expat are thinking to go back to other cities where they can find more opportunities, where they can find better lifestyle, cheaper, and so on. And this is really happening. Just to give you an anecdote, when we George and I went to, in 2010, we were looking for financing from banks. We showed our project, and they used to tell us, the project is very nice, but where are you going to develop? In Fort, in Makati? Say, no, actually in Cagayan de Oro. And they look at us like, you're a stupid guy. What are you going to do in Cagayan de Oro with these beautiful buildings? there is no market there. That's why there are no buildings, there are no condos. With Jojo, actually, we are thinking maybe it's the opposite. There are no clients because there are no condos to buy. So if we develop condominium buildings, most probably overseas Filipino, which by the way represent a big part of our clients, will be interested to buy in their own cities. But not too many people, I have to say, gave us credit at that time. I would actually thank, I don't know if there is someone here from Land Bank, BPI, and now DBP, who supported our ideas at that moment. So now let's go to projects, what we have done, what we are doing, and what we are going to do. As you can see, there are no projects at the moment in Metro Manila. We started from Mindanao. We are going now to Batangas and soon to the Visayas. These are the projects that I'm going to show today. Primavera Residences in Cagayan de Oro is completed and fully sold out. We have Primavera City under construction at the moment, and in Santo Tomas, Batangas, we have Miramonti, which is going to be launched soon. So about Primavera Residences, it has been awarded in 2014 as the best mixed-use condominium in the entire Philippines by International Property Award. This was the first time that a condominium was awarded with this prestigious award outside Metro Manila. We are in Cagayan de Oro. I know Mindanao today is not really, how to say, the flavor of the day, no, because what's happening, but we are very confident that this is going to be just a spark. So this is the building. These are actual photos. The building is completed, and again, fully sold out. We are in a high elevated part of Cagayan de Oro, just beside an SM mall. We also have photovoltaic panels on the rooftops to produce energy. This energy is given to the common area so that the unit owners have a lower monthly dues. This is the pool located at the third floor, which contributes to reduce the temperature of the air that gets inside an inner courtyard, which is this one, that goes from the third floor up to the roof. And this works as a natural chimney and increases the ventilation, the inner ventilation of the units. According to our computation during the design stage, the unit owners save around 22% of energy, and that's real, actually, in real life, that's what's happening. This is just a unit, and this is our office. Also, this is an important slide because we can have good ideas, good design, many good things, but if the market doesn't appreciate what you do, I mean, you fail. We are in the market is the last judge. And we have been experiencing a very high real estate appreciation, value appreciation in our buildings. And this is a snapshot of our clients. We are confident that this is going to be similar in every place we go. We will go in the Philippines to develop buildings. Ongoing project, we have Primavera City, which is located very close to Primavera Residences, just on the other side of SM Mall. This project is going to be awarded tomorrow in KL as, again, the best mixed-use building in the entire Philippines in 2016-17 in Bangkok by the International Property Award. Again, we are in Cagayan. This is the project. It's much bigger compared to Primavera Residences. It's composed by 7 towers, which one is going to be a high-rise tower. The entire complex is covered with 10,000 square meters of semi-transparent photovoltaic panels, which will cover the entire rooftop, and they will cover the amenity. It will produce a quite big amount of energy, around 1,440,000 kilowatt-hour per year. This power will also be given to the Condo Corp. When I say given, we are not going to give it for free. We are going to give it for a lower rate compared to the utilities in that place. So let's say if Sepalco, which is the utility in Cagayan, is selling the power for, let's say, 10 pesos per kilowatt, we will sell it for 8. So with an instant gain for the unit owners. This is a view from the rooftop with the photovoltaic panels. Last project is going to be launched soon, a couple of months. We are just waiting for the last permit, which is the license to sell. For people that are not from the Philippines, I would say that it's not difficult to get permits here, at least compared to my country in Italy, where it's much more difficult. So I don't know, it depends where you come from. But it's quite fast. And this project is the first project we are going to do in Luzon. The location is quite interesting location because we are located in Santo Tomas, which is in the Calabar zone area, where a lot of industrial parks are located. We are talking about hundreds and hundreds of factories. This is the location of Santo Tomas, which is exactly in the middle between Manila and the port of Batangas. And we are just located on the exit road of Santo Tomas. This is how the buildings will look like once phase 1 and phase 2 will be completed. Phase 1 is the one on the left. Phase 2 is the one on the right. If you want, the best way to predict the future is to design it. That's what we have been doing with Giorgio and all the other people working in Italpinas since we started. Thank you very much for your attention.